Okay, let's talk about something pretty much all of us go through. That knot in your stomach when you're thinking about changing careers. That feeling of being totally overwhelmed by what's next. If that sounds familiar, well, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Just think about it for a second. Is your career this straight, predictable ladder? Or is it more, well, a winding road? For our parents' generation, it was often that straight shot up. But for most of us today, yeah, it's got twists, turns, and a whole lot of unexpected detours. And get this number pretty much sums up our new reality. 12. That's the number of jobs the average person is now expected to have in their lifetime. We're not just talking about one or two big transitions anymore. This is a constant state of change. Now let's put that into perspective. We've gone from about 8 jobs in a lifetime to 12. That's a 40% jump. So if you're feeling like you're hopping around more than you thought you would, you're not doing something wrong. You're actually right on trend. This is the new normal. So how in the world do we handle all this? Well, we've got a roadmap for you. First, we'll talk about this new career landscape. Then we'll get into the science of why this feels so darn stressful. After that, we're getting practical with a 5-step plan, talking about who you need in your corner, and finally, how to make friends with all this uncertainty. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, the new career roadmap. And the most important thing I want you to take away from this part is right there in the subtitle. It is not just you. Seriously. And these numbers, they really tell the story. A huge 62% of us feel major anxiety during a career change. More than half of us feel completely unprepared for the emotional roller coaster. And get this, nearly half, 47%, have actually delayed a move they wanted to make just because the anxiety was too much to handle. You are not alone in this. Okay, so why? Why does it feel so intense? That brings us to our next section, the science behind it all. We're going to look at why your brain is basically hardwired to see a career change as a legitimate 5-alarm threat. This quote from Dr. Jonathan Way absolutely nails it. See, your amygdala, that's your brain's little alarm system. It can't really tell the difference between a predator hiding in the grass and the uncertainty of not having a job next month. To your brain, a threat is a threat. It hits the panic button and boom, you're in fight or flight mode. It's a very real biological reaction. You know that weird, uncomfortable, in-between feeling? When you're not what you were, but you're not quite what you're going to be yet? Well, psychologists actually have a name for that. Liminality stress. You're in a state of limbo, and that feeling itself is a huge source of anxiety. So what's feeding this stress? Well, it usually boils down to 3 big things. First, our identity. If you think I am an architect, then losing that job can feel like losing a part of yourself. Second is just your personal tolerance for uncertainty. But the big one, the one that gets almost everyone, financial security. A whopping 78% of people say money worries are their #1 trigger. Okay, that's enough about the why. We get it. It's scary. Now let's talk about the how. How do we actually do something about it? This section is all about giving you a solid 5-step plan to get you from feeling stuck to taking real, meaningful action. I love this quote because it points to the perfect place to start. Notice she doesn't say, go apply for 100 jobs. No. The first move is to look inward. It's about taking a real, honest inventory of yourself before you do anything else. And here's the plan broken down. Step 1, assess and envision. What are you good at? What do you actually care about? Step 2, build your knowledge. Fill in the gaps. Step 3, leverage your strengths. Think about how your current skills can be a superpower in a totally new field. 4, market your story. You've got to connect the dots for people. And finally, number 5, test the waters. Do a small project, volunteer, dip your toe in before you dive headfirst. Okay, so you've got your plan. But here's the thing. You really shouldn't do it alone. This next part is absolutely crucial. It's about building your support system. And I'm not just talking about friends to complain to. I mean a strategic team that has your back. And the data on this is, well, it's a BFD. People who have structured support systems, and that word is key, report 61% better emotional outcomes during a career transition. 61%. That's not just a small boost, that is a massive, game-changing difference. But here's the catch. Not all support is created equal. Your friend saying, you got this, is nice, but it's not what we're talking about here.
That's ineffective support. What really moves the needle is effective support. Think peer groups who are in the trenches with you, mentors who've been there, done that, and real, structured advice. It's all about quality over quantity.
And if that anxiety really feels like it's getting in the way, there are some seriously powerful, evidence-based tools you can use. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which helps you challenge those negative thought loops. And then there's something called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, which is all about learning to move forward with the anxiety instead of trying to fight it. And just look at the power of these interventions. Just having a strategic plan, that 5-step process we talked about, can cut your anxiety by more than half, just because it gets rid of the ambiguity. When you combine that with tools like CBT or mindfulness, you've suddenly got an incredible toolkit to work with. This brings us to our final and maybe most important section. It's all about embracing uncertainty. This is the last crucial mindset shift that can turn this whole stressful experience into something really positive. Here's the core idea. A job rejection, a bad interview, a pass that turns out to be a dead end, that's not failure. It's just data. It's information. Every single setback is just a stepping stone telling you where to go next. You're not starting over, you're starting from a place of more experience. And this final quote from Dr. Rebecca Martinez just ties it all together beautifully. With the right plan and the right people around you, this period of change doesn't have to be something that undermines you. It can actually be the very thing that makes you stronger, more resilient, and more sure of who you are. So, we'll leave you with this thought. What if all that uncertainty you're feeling isn't an obstacle you have to get over? What if it's actually an open field of opportunity, the raw material for whatever you want to build next? The only question left is, what are you going to build?